Well, this is probably the most important part of the video right now. What is going on, UFC card lovers? Welcome back here to another episode of UFC Card Talk. My name is Damien, and here at UFC Card Talk, we like to talk about everything to do with UFC cards, from both collecting to investing or flipping, if you want to call it that as well, to also recent UFC card hobby news. This week's episode, it is the long-awaited second part to my road to a Grail Card. Now, there is a lot to get through here. It has been quite a while. It has been at least 4 or 5 months since I did that first episode. A lot to catch up on. We're going to get straight into it. Let's do it. So, I have my little handy notes here to start with because there, as I said, is a lot to catch up on. And we are going to start with looking back at the first purchases that I made in the very first episode. And we're going to see how I did with those. For those of you who remember, if you don't remember, doesn't really matter because I'm going to be obviously talking about the buying cost and the selling cost and the profit. So I'm going to be doing all the catching up for you guys. But we're going to start off with that Allo box set. That was a buying price for $5 USD. I ended up selling it for $20 USD. After all fees, shipping, I made about $10 USD. So made a profit of $5 on that one. We also had that Cartoon Network plastic lunchbox. I bought that in at $1.50. Sold that at $18. After fees, after shipping, I made 90 crowns on that one, or $9. For those of you who do not know, I'm going to be blending a little bit of the currency here, but I will give it to you in USD. We also had that Rolly sports camera. Now this was basically the only bust out of everything that I bought on that first episode. That Rolly sports camera, I bought that in for 250 crowns. That was $25 USD. And I sold it for $26 USD. That one I only just recently sold. That took a long time to sell. I still got to talk about a little lesson out of that one because at the time I didn't know much about the camera, and when looking up for comps, for comparisons of sales on eBay before buying it, I couldn't find anything. I didn't know whether to take that was a good thing or a bad thing because if they don't sell often, it's hard to know what it's worth. But I figured I was going to make more than what the buy-in price was, but I was wrong. It didn't sell for a very long time. Sold it for $26 after fees, after shipping. I made about $13 on that. So, as I said, that's a $12 loss right there. But that was the only loss, thankfully. We also had that Obey pink hat, that leopard print hat. I bought that one at $4.50. Sold it for $15 after fees, after shipping. I made $9 on that one. That R2-D2 alarm clock that I also bought. I bought that one for $2 or $2.50. And I was able to sell that one for $24 USD. So after shipping, after fees, I made $14 on that one. So a profit of about $12-ish. Now, the big one, the Pokemon cards. The one that I sort of ended off the video all about with. That was the big treasure find. Turned out there was not so many great cards in there. There were some shiny cards, so I had to be a little bit smart about how I listed those cards. The way I did it was, I don't know enough about Pokemon cards. They weren't in the best condition, so I just listed them all as a lot on a local buy and sell trading website here in Sweden, and we're going to see how that auction ended right here, right now. Alright guys, so I just thought I would show you here. We have this Pokemon listing here for those cards that I did see. 48 seconds to go. Leading bid is 500 crowns. So we'll watch this live, see where we're going to get to. In the meanwhile, sold this PSA 7 of Wayne Gretzky today as well. Another bid there. Pretty sure that Wayne Gretzky I got for $30 US, just sold it for $40, so not much profit, but I've been selling that one for a while. Let's see what's going to happen here with this auction.
Wow. Okay, I'm not going to judge your journey. It is your fantasy.
That's it. So 600 crowns. So basically just turned 250 crowns into 607. It's about $25 US, as I said, guys, to $60 US after fees. That'll be about $54 US. So basically double my money on that one. So happy with that. And yeah, straight into the kitty for that Grail card. So as you guys saw, I was able to make a profit on those Pokemon cards. So that was awesome. That was a very good sale for me. So the Pokemon cards pulled through in the end. Plus the Wayne Gretzky card, which I bought at 30, sold at 40, profit of about $5 there. But the action didn't stop there. I'm always trying to look and buy and sell secondhand items and then trying to find and sell them onwards for profit. I've had some good ones, I've had some not so good ones, but since then, obviously that was 4 or 5 months ago I did do that episode. I have had some success selling other items in that time. Here are some I'm not going to go through all of them of course, but here are the most notable ones. There was this Bravestar action figure that was up for auction on the local Swedish site. I had no idea what Bravestar was, but I did take 2 minutes to look it up on eBay, and to my surprise, I've never heard of Bravestar or know what it is. Apparently it's just a movie or a series or
In a distant time and faraway place, the planet of New Texas floats deep in space. A man appeared with powers of Hawk, Wolf, Puma, and Bear. Protector of peace, mystic man from afar. Champion of justice, martial brave star.
I don't know. Anyway, it's actually quite popular in the collectibles world. So this Bravestar figure, I bought it at about 300 crowns, including postage. So roughly about $30. And I was able to sell that, as you can see here, then on eBay, only 2 weeks later for a total of $99. After fees, after shipping, I made $70 on that one. So that is a profit right there of $40. I also found this M&M dispenser at a second-hand shop. The buying cost was about $1 USD. I was able to sell that one for $7 on eBay. So after shipping, after fees cost, I was able to make $4 on that one. Then we had this Lionel Messi shirt. It wasn't a jersey, but it was an official supporter shirt, and it still was new with tags. Found that at a second-hand shop. Paid $6 for that one and was able to sell that on the local buy-sell trading website here in Sweden for a cold hard $30. So after fees and everything, was able to make $27 on that one. And then I also found some G.I. Joe figures, some old 90s G.I. Joe figures, the ones that I used to have back in the day with the hips that swing on the little rubber O-ring. I found a bag of those at a second-hand shop here, $5, picked those ones up, knowing that G.I. Joe typically sells pretty well. I was able to list them on the buy-sell website here in Sweden also, and I was able to turn that $5 into 250 crowns, as you can see here. We'll translate over to USD, it's about $25 USD, so after fees, I was able to make $22 on that order. And then the biggest one, which is probably the biggest surprise for some of you, I actually consider myself to be quite handy. I made a table. I get a lot of timber pallets for free through my job. So randomly, once every 3 months, once every 6 months, I'll make some sort of furnishing item out of them, and I'll try to sell that then here on Facebook Marketplace. So I've done this twice now. Most recently did it, made a table, spent $20 only on the stain, then listed it on Marketplace. It took a while for this one to sell. It sat in my garage for a long time, taking up quite a bit of space, but I was able to sell that for 2,900 crowns. Therefore, turning that to $290. So, as I said, spent $20 on stain only. That was the only cost other than my time. So I was able to make a cold hard $270 on that table. So we put all those together. Now there have been more, but I don't want to waste your time with all the others. We are at a total of $432 USD we currently have in the kitty. Now, you might be saying, if you remember from the first episode, oh my God, Damien, you're about a quarter of the way there. The total was, I was looking to get about $1,400 to put a bid in to put an offer in for my Grail card that is sitting on eBay. Well, this is probably the most important part of the video right now. My Grail card, the Grail card that inspired me to make this series, to make this journey. It's gone. It's gone. It's nowhere to be found anymore on eBay. I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess, yeah, let's just talk about that a little bit. The Grail card originally that I was targeting was a 2022 Sean O'Malley flashback gold prism. It was in a BGS 9 holder, and it wasn't so much the grade, it wasn't so much who it was graded by that made it so special. It was the centering left to right. I've mentioned this before. Those of you diehard UFC Card Talk supporters, you would remember that for my PC cards, for my lifelong collection cards, they just need to have really, really good centering left to right in order for me to look at them and appreciate them. Otherwise, it's just something about the off centering that bothers me, and I'm less likely to want to have it long term. But this in particular copy of the 2022 Flashback Gold Prism, which is a card that I've spoken about before as well, for Sean, is just the Grail card for me in my collection right now. And this one copy had perfect centering left to right. It was a BGS 9. I believe the centering was a 9.5. It's not very often these flashback prisms are well centered left to right. And it's now gone. So the only other one now, as we head over to eBay right now, we can see the only other gold flashback prism that is listed for Sean from 2022 is at $1,700. It is a PSA 10, but as we take a better look at this, we can see the centering there left. It's not terrible. If we compare both sides here now, it's not horrible, but it's also, this is what I'm talking about. I wouldn't actually not be happy with this copy. It's probably out, if we're talking PSA lingo, I would say this is probably, it's close to 60-40, maybe 65-35 or something. It's not terrible. It's probably 60-40 to be honest, but it's still not good enough. And the other copy was perfect left to right. And if I was to look at this card, when I look at my cards, this is going to sound stupid, but when I look at my cards, I really like to stare at them. And when I'm staring at things, because I've mentioned this before, I work in construction. I really, my eye gravitates towards how centered things are. As I said, I think it's got something to do with, I know centering is important for a lot of people, but it's really important for me, especially left to right. It's just my way my eyes gravitate. But if I look at a card, if I hold a card and stare at it, left to right centering, super important for me in order to have a card and to really, really appreciate it. So this one, it's not terrible. As I said, it's pretty good. Like, I think most people would be pretty happy with this copy, but for me, it's not good enough. I do not want this copy, unfortunately. The other copy's gone, but this journey still will continue because I have identified another Grail card. So don't you guys sweat. We are still on this journey. This series will continue. And while we talk about continuing, for those of you also who have watched my previous few videos the last month or two, you will remember I have had some mail days, and in those mail days I have had some raw cards. One mail day was specifically all raw cards from Burbank. I have had a total here of $432 in the kitty, and all of that $432 is now completely gone because not only did I buy $120 worth of raw cards from Burbank, 6 out of 100 cards I deemed gradable. They have been sent off to PSA already, so we have some PSA costs there. I also had some raw cards in the previous mail day that also were bought in order to send to PSA. All those raw cards also were bought out of the kitty money. I have a box right here. We'll be filming this probably later tonight or tomorrow because I've had this box for a week now. You know, you guys who have been following me all this time, I've had this box for a week. I've been dying to open this up. I don't get as much time during the week, and I'm still here holding this mail day video because I want to open it up with you guys. So if that doesn't deserve a subscribe and a like, I don't know what does. But anyway, in this box is also some raw cards that I have bought with this kitty money in order to get graded at PSA. So basically, as we stand right now, that $432 total, it's all gone. Because I bought not only raw cards, I have sent 16 raw cards right now are sitting at PSA getting graded. When they come back from grading, I will not only be sharing the grades with you guys, but I'll be showing you exactly which cards were a part of this kitty. So we can therefore continue on the series in episode 3, showing off the grades, but also showing off which cards, and then we'll be putting them up. And this is the other point I want to get to. Exciting for not only me, but also hopefully for you guys as well. Follow me on this journey. UFC Card Talk's eBay is live and it's up and running. I will have it shared not only right here now in the video, it'll be linked in the description below. I have had some people, some fans, some very, very generous people want to reach out to me, maybe try and send me some cards or whatever you guys want to do sometimes. But in all honesty, I really appreciate the gesture. It's not so much necessary for you guys to have to send me stuff. If you do want to support me, support my channel, support my card hobby, the best way you can do that is to jump on my eBay, give me a follow, check out some of my listings. My goal as an eBay seller from here on out will be listing one new card every single day. One new UFC card every single day will be getting listed on my eBay. So make sure you follow my store. It will be listed in the description below. And if you really are looking to way to support me, the best way to do is buy a UFC card from me. I'm happy, you're happy, and as I said, it's just a fun way for you guys to also support me if you want to do that. So as I said, episode 3, it will be coming up. Probably it won't be such a long break this time. Next time it'll probably be in a month or so when I get the cards back from PSA. We will be following on. We will be continuing this journey. The road to a glory card continues. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week, in fact, at UFC Card Talk. That Rolly Sports camera, I bought that in for 250 crowns. That was $25 USD. I didn't know much about the camera, and when looking up for comps, for comparisons of sales on eBay before buying it, I couldn't find anything.
I'll be back. Hopeless. Completely.